Welcome to the Punter. I'm Flash Gordon Watson. Today I'm with Stan James, Rory Jiwani, and obviously the Bet Butler over the other side, who's going to try and help us guide ourselves through this complete minefield of Premiership action this weekend. And we start off straight away at the Emirates. Arsenal versus Fulham. Is it Arsenal for you?
Absolutely. I mean, their form has been a little patchy of late, but Fulham just don't travel. And I think Arsenal around sort of 1-2 are definitely. I'd say they're probably my banker of the weekend.
You're not wary about them actually having to travel abroad? Obviously, Champions League midweek, come back. They struggled to break down Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, they did, but they still won. And I think just Fulham's away record is still. I mean, last season was appalling. It hasn't improved much this season. I can't see anything other than a home win, and might be worth getting involved in handicap betting on this sort of game.
Butler, Rory said it's Arsenal all the way.
Well, he would do, because they're the firm they want to lay. These are St James are going the best price Arsenal for this game, and I can understand why. I mean, you look at last season, I had a massive bet on this game, on Arsenal to win the game. It was 1-1. Vermaelen, your old mate, scored first goal and an own goal. The fact is they're 1-2. Who'd back them at 11-20? What about 1-2 in sort of normal terms? Who's going to back Arsenal 1-2 in that kind of form? It all depends on the team. If Theo Walcott plays and Arsene Wenger shows a little bit of faith and gives him a start, they've got a chance. Without him, no chance. There's no goals in this side. Fulham at 6-1. I don't fancy Fulham. I take Rory's point. They've got a chance. They're no good away from home. But the draw, I like the draw. Bigger than 3-1 the draw. That's got to be the value. 17-5 the draw. It was 1-1 last season. Arsenal, don't have a bet of them until you see the team lose. If Walcott starts, have a bet. If not, not for me.
Cheers, the Butler, sitting on the fence, one game down, one draw selected. But for myself and Rory, it's Arsenal all the way. We're off to Goodison next, where we've got Everton versus Sunderland, and I think that this one might not just be Everton all the way.
I'm inclined to agree. It's funny, actually. I was catching up with a mate in midweek, and he's a big Fulham fan, and he was at the game last weekend, and he said Everton, the best side to turn up at the Cottage this season, should have won, and they just didn't take their chances. And you feel if they're creating lots of chances, if Jelavic gets the ball in the net, they should win. But I think Everton a little bit skinny. I think they'll win, but the price is a little bit short for my liking.
I'm with you all the way, Rory. I think that this could well be Everton win, but not many goals, Butler.
Totally agree with you boys. They've got a fantastic record, Everton, in this fixture. They've won 11 in the last 15, 1-2 Everton. I think they're a better betting proposition than Arsenal at 1-2, the same price to beat Fulham. Sunderland at 7-1, 16-5 the draw. I agree with you guys. I think Everton will win, but I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I think Everton will win by 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, Everton victory. The way they performed, the amount of chances they had last week against Fulham was incredible. They looked at that. Fellaini was unplayable. 1-2 at home against a team that don't score. Sunderland cannot score goals. They just can't score goals. 1-2 Everton. They're a much better bet for me at 2-1 on than Arsenal 2-1 on against Fulham.
Cheers, Butler. That's Everton at 1-2 to beat Sunderland, who can't score goals, but the Martin O'Neill factor that it could be dour for long periods, so they probably will trade better than 1-2 in running.
Quite possibly, yeah. I mean, all these games, we've seen during a week, in running betting can often be very profitable, very enjoyable as well. And Everton, if it takes them a while to break the deadlock, then it might be worth playing, and at Everton at a bigger price.
Well, the most important game of the weekend, if you're in the Adkins family, is Southampton at home to Swansea. Maybe people are saying he's got one more game to sort himself out, and Southampton have to win this game.
Yeah, I think they've got a chance. It's a must-win game, although some of the rumours sounds like even if they win, he still might be out of a job. So it's a tricky one. Swansea obviously have been very impressive this season. Could be goals in this one. But I'm inclined to think Southampton, this is the sort of game they need to win if they've got any chance of staying in the Premier League. And I'm inclined to think they might win this.
Butler, Southampton to win. Any value?
Diddle-itty. Diddle-itty. The Atkins family. Anyway, let me tell you something about this. Southampton, there's never been a 0-0 draw in this game. Ever. There's 100 goals in 29 fixtures. Go over on the goals. Southampton 11-8. Not any value for me. I can't see them. This is the kind of game they need to win. They perhaps look a little bit of value at 11-8, actually, to be fair. The draws are 5-2 shots. Swansea 2-1. I don't fancy Swansea at all. The best way I'll be playing this is goals galore. We're going over the goals, over 2.5, over 3.5, over 4.5 maybe. But there are lots of goals in this game. Maybe a little smidgen of value from Southampton 11-8. Certainly not Swansea at 2-1. I think Southampton might win it in an absolute thriller.
Let's hope you get your first selection right of the season. It is a Saints win. We're off to the Britannia next. It's Stoke versus Queen's Park Rangers. And can you pick these two?
I can't have QPR at the moment at all. I mean, I think last week I said if QPR didn't beat Reading, Hughes would be out of job. He's still in the job. I'm not quite sure how, but I don't think there's going to be many goals in this. I can't have QPR at all. So I think a Stoke home win in this one could be the way forward.
Butler, Stoke home win over here.
Maybe so. They're 19 to 20, around about even money. Look, a decent bet for me. QPR 7 to 2. They can't win at home, not away from home. They can't even win away from home, let alone at home. 12 to 5 the draw. I tell you what, it's under 2.5 all the way. The statistics always tell you that this game produces very, very low scoring games. I think QPR, no value at all at 7 to 2. Stoke might nick it, only 1-0. Under 2.5 goals, definitely the bet.
Well, there's a bit of a theme going here. We've got 4 games in, and apart from your maybe draw at the Emirates, we're looking at 4 homes. Would there be another one? Reading versus Norwich at the Madejski. And I look at this and I think the last time that Norwich won an away game was 1994, away at Crystal Palace.
Wow, that's a long time ago. I think Reading haven't won in the league this season. Norwich have just started to pick up a bit in recent weeks. They beat Arsenal, they beat Spurs in the League Cup. I think this has got draw written all over it personally. The only one so far, I think this one will be a draw, simply because Reading, they're playing all right, but they just can't win.
Butler, we can't split them, so it has to be a draw.
Always say when you can't split the teams, you back the draw. 13 to 10 Reading, 11 to 5 Norwich, 12 to 5 the draw. I agree with you guys. I think the draw makes some appeal here. I think a scoring draw. I think both teams will score. Norwich on a bit of a high, Reading on a bit of a low. I think Norwich are the informed team coming into this game. The draw certainly gets my vote, but I think it'll be a 1-1, 2-2 at a decent price. Scoring draw, but I agree with you guys. The draw looks the value at 12 to 5.
OK, well, if you do follow the Butler and his high-scoring draws, in the last 2 weeks, he's had 3-3 at 66s, 2-2s around 16s, so he thinks there'll be plenty of goals. And the draw tomorrow at the Madejski. We're going to go on now. Wigan, West Brom. This is a game where, if roles reversed, it'll be a West Brom win. Wigan at home, where'd you stand?
Wigan are just starting to pick up. They beat Spurs last weekend. Great result away from home, but they're so inconsistent, and if they could be a bit more consistent, they wouldn't have any relegation worries at all on their day. On their day, they're a top 10 side, but that day isn't that regular. West Brom away from home, a bit like Fulham earlier, they don't travel very well. I think Wigan will win, but it's not one I want to get involved with.
We think we're going to win, but we don't trust them, Butler. What price?
Well, I'm definitely getting involved in Wigan today. It's one of my best bets of the weekend. 11 to 8 Wigan to win this game. West Brom are so good at home at the Hawthorns. The unbelievable place. The Cauldron is the Hawthorns. They're unbeatable there. Away from home, they're a very, very bad travelling side. 9 to 4, you can get West Brom. 12 to 5, the draw. Wigan, 11 to 8. Honestly, I think this is a fantastic bet. Martinez teams do well at home. They play good football. And they're a better team than West Brom individually. I think West Brom are flattered deceived. I think their position in the league is false, and I think this price is too short, and this price is too big. Wigan 11 to 8, absolute bankers for me at the weekend. Get on Wigan.
That's 6 games. They're all your 3 o'clock kickoffs, and not one tip up for an away win. We're going to go to the 5:30 now, which is at Villa Park. Aston Villa versus Manchester United. Surely this is our first away win.
Here's your away win. Villa's record against United is just terrible. I don't know the exact stats, but every time this fixture comes up, it's always referred to as how bad Villa's record is, and I can't remember them winning against United for years. United, the price is short enough, but it should be, because their record is so good. They're playing well, they're scoring goals. Defensively, they're not fantastic, but Villa aren't scoring many goals. It's got to be an away win for me.
Butler. Man United's our first away win, so what price?
Well, I think you're right, but the thing is you're not going to get rich backing them 8 to 15, and I think the trouble backing 8 to 15 shots away from home in the Premier League is a bad investment. We saw in the Champions League where Barcelona went to Celtic, they were 1 to 3 to win. Any team odds on away from home is not the greatest betting strategy, but they're going to Villa. Villa, not the greatest of shakes. Man United, coming good, looking like they're going to score. What Hernandez is playing well. He's the key for me. Van Persie, everyone's getting the headlines, but Hernandez is getting on the goal sheet. 8-15 Man United. I think they will win. I wouldn't be rushing down the betting shop to bet them at 8-15. There's another few ways I like to bet them. I'll come on to that in a minute, but 8-15 Man United. This is the first away win of the weekend.
Okay, so we're looking at Man United to get all 3 points at Villa Park. Unders and overs, are we looking this to be a tight game? Man United going in front and shutting up shop, or are they going to go for a goal fest?
I think Villa are solid enough for it not to be a goal fest. So I think under over 2.5 goals is a tricky. I think you can make a very good argument for both of those. Maybe under and over 1.5 is the way to go. Maybe over 1.5 is the way to go here. But it's. I think United will win. I don't think it's going to be a goal fest.
Butler, what price? Plenty goals.
All the stats say goals. All the stats. Rory's coming out saying the Man United might win it 1-0, but the stats book, if you follow the stats, you go over 2.5 goals. Over 2.5 goals is 8-13. A little bit too short. Under 2.5 goals is 6-5. I personally wouldn't be backing this. The way I play this game will be draw half-time, Man United full-time. That's my tip, around about 7-2. Over 3.5 goals is 6-4. Usually, for the bookmakers, you get 5-2 that price. They are expecting goals. Rory doesn't expect goals. I'm not quite sure, but draw half-time, Man United full-time, definitely the bet.
Cheers to Butler. So we're going to go with Man United being our only away win on Saturday afternoon. That will do us for the 3 o'clock kickoffs and the 5:30 kickoff. And then when you come back, it will be all the Sunday games. We'll see you in 2. Welcome to the Punter. I'm Flash Gordon Watson and I'm with Stan James, Rory Jiwani and the Bet Butler, who will try and get you through the Sunday fixtures. And we're going to start off at the Etihad, where it's Man City versus Spurs, 1:30 kickoff, and two sides here that don't give a lot.
Don't give a lot. I just think City are... They're just not the side they were last season. I mean, midweek against Ajax. And even Joe Hart's making mistakes now, and that's a really bad sign. And City are favourites, they're odds on. They're too short for my liking. But Spurs are just really inconsistent at the moment as well, losing last week to Wigan. This is a match that you could make a case for all 3 results. I'm just going to avoid this match at all costs.
Butler, can't split them, so what do we do?
What you do is, if you were playing on the exchange, you would lay Man City. That's my advice to you here. I think Man City will trade a big, big price. Tottenham are becoming the new Liverpool in my terms. They're always a team that always under-deliver when they're at home, expected to win against the likes of Wigan and Stoke. When they go to Man United, Man City, they raise their game. I think the draw at 16-5 is a massive price. Bigger than 3-1 the draw in this game. Tottenham at 5-1, Man City 8-13. Now that last season, you would be having an absolute wager on Man City. But you can't be winning the Premier League title when your man of the match every week is your goalkeeper. Unbelievable. 8-13. Too many goals for me. The big loss for me is Dembele. Not going to play. Big, huge part for me. But I think the draw are bigger than 3-1. It's got to be a bet.
Yeah, well, I agree with Man City. Lay Man City 8-13, but I think people forget that this is a Tottenham side that actually went to Old Trafford and won, and they won well. They scored 3 goals, so I think 5-1 looks massive value for Tottenham. Yeah,
and you could, I mean, then there's a definite case like laying Man City on Betfair. You can get involved in draw no bet market with StanJames.com.
Okay, what about unders and overs?
Tricky. I think unders would be the way I'd look at it, but you could easily see there being a goal fest. It's just they're too unpredictable sides at the moment, and just not one I'd enter into with any confidence at all.
Butler, last time Tottenham went to Manchester, they were involved in 5 goals. Are we going to see it again?
Well, Flash, I've done a show with you for almost a whole season now, and I always say about under 2.5 goals is a value. You know what? I've converted. Under 2.5 goals, the first way to the poorhouse. I've been backing over 2.5 goals, you know. So that's why I've got the smart suits on. That's why I'm looking at me. That's why I left my tie in this track. But I tell you what, over 2.5 goals and over 3.5 goals is the value now. There is no value under 2.5 goals. The days where under 2.5 goals are value, it's not the case. We saw Champions League in a week, 40 odd goals in 8 games. Unbelievable. I think 36 goals. Unbelievable amount of goals. Over 2.5 goals, 8-13. Man City cannot defend, but they've got attackers in abundance. Tottenham are good going forward. They raised the game in these kind of fixtures. You've got to be over now. You never thought I'd say this, Flash. This time last year, would you ever see me say over 2.5 goals in every game? But I'm telling you now, I've learnt my lesson, mate. Over 2.5 goals is the way forward. Overs!
and that's the reason why you see the Butler looking so tired. He cannot sleep a wink. He has nightmares about goals, and week in, week out, that's all we get in the Premiership. So if we're going to have goals, who's going to be your first goal scorer?
Well, who are City going to pick? I mean, this is, Aguero, Tevez started midweek. Didn't really do the business early on. I don't know. It's Spurs. They played Defoe and Adebayor together yesterday.
No, they won't play that Sunday.
They won't. Well, I think the pressure's on AVB a bit, especially after that Wigan defeat. And I think there was a clamour for him to play 2 up front. Can't see them doing that on Sunday, I agree. But Defoe, Bale maybe in a more advanced position, he's got to be, up there. And it depends. I mean, Spurs, if they go out to defend, they could lose badly. If they go out to attack, they've probably got more chance of winning the game. But personnel-wise, I mean, I suppose for Spurs, it's got to be Defoe, really. OK,
well, Rory likes Defoe. I quite like Lennon. But we've both gone Tottenham, first goal scorer, Butler.
Well, what the bookie's saying, Lennon is about 16-1 shot. Defoe's a 9-1 shot on the back of the hat-trick of the week in midweek. Tevez is 9-2 favourite here. Aguero 9-2. If someone said to me, who do I want to bet out of the two of them, it would be Aguero all the time. I think team news is vital. Never place a bet on this until you see the team news. I like the score market, the score in the game. I think Aguero around about 11-10 will be a fantastic bet with Stan James. I think it's a great. Tevez, I always want Aguero in my fantasy league team ahead of a fit Tevez. So Aguero for me should not be second favourite to Tevez.
Cheers, the Butler. We're off to the 3 o'clock now. St James's Park, Newcastle versus West Ham. Andy Carroll goes home. I like Newcastle.
I like Newcastle as well, I have to say. Good at home. Probably a bit unlucky against Liverpool in the fact they went ahead and then they lost Colaccini, and obviously Suarez is untouchable at the moment. Just a fantastic player, probably the best player in the Premier League at the moment. West Ham don't have anyone of that class, and I think Newcastle here.
Butler, away the lads.
Not for me at all. Away the lads means away the boys. West Ham 3-1. Happy Hammers. Come on, Hammers. I think they're a great late Newcastle. I think 21-20 is a little bit. To be honest with you, let me be fair. I fancy West Ham. When I saw the price there, I was expecting them to be about 4-6, 4-7, that kind of price. When I see 21-20, I've changed my little bit opinion. But I don't think they'll win. I wouldn't back them. They're a price that I see, that I look at, and I think it's pretty value. But you know what? I wouldn't back them. I don't think Newcastle are great shakes at all. I think they're a bottom of the table team. I think they've got some decent players, no doubt about Caballé, Ben Arthur, fantastic. But there's something not right there. Cisse, I think West Ham away from home. Andy Carroll factor is a huge bonus. And I think the draw, again, I hate to say it, Flash, I'm sitting on the old fence. I think the draw at 13-5 is a value. But I was expecting, when the caption come on, to see 4-6 Newcastle. 21-20. I can understand why people are backing them, but you know what? I'll be a happy layer.
Cheers, the Butler. So that means it's Newcastle all the way. Big value. So we need goal scorers. Caballé did the business for us last week at the Emirates. Was happy with that. Can he do it again?
Oh, maybe. I mean, he doesn't score tap-ins, I think is the phrase. I think Demba Ba's a good shout for first goal scorer, and I think over the last, how long has he been there? Just over nearly a year, I think. If you'd have backed Demba Ba to be first goal scorer every game, I think you'd be quite happy. So Demba Ba for me.
Butler, we're queuing up for Demba Ba and Caballé again, so Newcastle goals.
Well, you would say that. 11-2 Ba to score the first goal makes a big appeal. Caballé, we're about 20-1. Andy Carroll 7-1. When every time Andy Carroll plays, it's all about Kevin Owen of me 9-1. And I like Mark Noble here at 20-1. I don't think Newcastle are going to be a certainty like you boys do, but I think Nolan at 9-1. Coming in the knockdowns from Andy Carroll's goals, absolutely a little bit of value. Anytime goal score, my bet.
Biggest game of the day, if you're a Chelsea Liverpool fan, 4 o'clock, Stamford Bridge, Chelsea versus Liverpool. And although Chelsea higher than Liverpool in the league, Liverpool struggling a little bit, it's a game where Liverpool turn up, isn't it?
It is a game where they turn up, and I mentioned earlier, Luis Suarez is in fantastic form, just showing what a great player he is. Forget the controversy. As a player, he's fantastic. He's carrying this Liverpool side at the moment. And yeah, it's a fixture where Liverpool do well. So we're going from Saturday morning, we're going top price Chelsea in this game. I think he's got a draw written all over it, to be honest. Chelsea are strong at home. I don't think they'll win, but I don't think they'll be beaten. So I'll go for the draw in this one.
Butler, we want to lay Chelsea.
Chelsea, you've got to lay them at 10 to 11. I'll tell you what, on first glance, it looks fantastic value. Liverpool, 3 to 1, not for me. They raise their game every time they play a Chelsea or a Manchester United or Man City. So when they're at home to a Stoke or a Norwich or something like that, that's when they let you down. But I think the draw at 13 to 5, fantastic value for me. I can't believe it. They've got a great record against Chelsea over all the games they've played in the past, and the draw at 13 to 5. We're in a rebuilding exercise with this team, and the draw makes me. I see your point of laying at Chelsea at 10 to 11. Can't make a case for Liverpool at 3 to 1, but the draw, absolutely juicy price for me. 13 to 5 all the way. Another draw in all the games they play. An absolute fantastic nail bender. Draw from the Butler all the time.
Tell you what, you weren't a substitute in a former life. You loved the bench. I mean, you're sitting on it. The splinters are frightening. OK, so now we're looking at under and over goals. What are we expecting?
Well, all the stats tell you go over 2.5 goals at 4 to 6. I mean, and I've told you all the way through the show, basically my strategy now has just completely changed. I was always back under whatever happened. But you know what? I'm going back to the old guard. I'm going under. I'm going under 2.5 goals, 11 to 10. I don't think there's many goals in this game. I really don't. I think Liverpool will go there very defensively. I think they probably make one up front, Suarez. I think they make it very difficult for a Chelsea side. That midfield, great. Torres is not firing. Added pressure going against his old side. I think under 2.5 goals or 11 to 10 is a not bad little wager.
He's sitting on the fence now. He wants a dullard 0-0. For you, first goal scorer?
Yeah, I think Suarez would be my pick. Chelsea, interesting. Yeah, Torres isn't firing, and I've heard a bit of a clamour that Victor Moses should get the nod at some point and get his chance. And it sounds like they might be bringing back Lukaku from West Brom in January. So Torres has to start performing. I think Suarez is maybe not first goal scorer, but an any-time goal scorer. I'd be quite happy with Suarez.
Butler, we like Suarez. I fancy he'll go down for the penalty. That means Gerrard.
Maybe so. I mean, Suarez is the only option for Liverpool. You see 7 to 1 Suarez here, 12 to 1 Gerrard after that. I think Suarez should be a lot shorter. I mean, it's 12.5% there and 6% there. Suarez scores all the percentage of Liverpool goals. So the value is definitely with Suarez. And I think Rory's absolutely right. Back him to score any time with Stan James at the price. You probably get around about 7 to 4, something like that, 2 to 1. I think it's a fantastic bet. Torres is 13 to 2 to score the goals. Would you back him ahead of Suarez, the form they're in? Not on your Nelly. Mata, 9 to 1. Will he play? That's the key thing for Chelsea. Played him in week. I think he will be back. They missed him last week, and that 9 to 1 could be a bit of value. Hazard, 9 to 1. I think you're probably right, but I totally agree with Rory. Luis Suarez, goal threat for Liverpool, is not the difference between Suarez, Gerrard. Sterling scored 1 goal. How can it be 14 to 1? Suarez 7 to 1. It should be 5 to 1, 20 to 1. Suarez score any time. Great bet, Rory.
Cheers to Butler. Now we're going to look at Rory's weekend specials. Saturday, Rory, we got here the Saturday bankers.
Yeah, Arsenal, Everton, and Stoke. I think we went through it fairly comprehensively, and they do look good things. And 100 to 30, for all three looks pretty reasonable. Below that, the top three, United, City and Chelsea. Yeah, we don't really fancy Chelsea. That's 17 to 4 though if you fancy 3. These are the Stan James bonus accumulators. And then finally the Sunday special, City, Newcastle and Chelsea at 6 to 1. As I say, we don't really fancy Chelsea or City for that matter. And with that Chelsea game, just mention that we're top price Chelsea, but we're also top price all first and last goal scorers, double result, correct score and under over 2.5 goals.
Rory Jiwani, top man, thank you very much. Bet Butler's been over there. I've been Flash. Until next time, we'll see you soon.